The James Webb Space Telescope has detected something in Saturn's atmosphere that violates every model of planetary formation we possess. Spectroscopic analysis reveals molecular signatures that should not exist in a natural gas giant. Complex organic compounds arranged in patterns that mirror exactly what we see from industrial chemical processing. Synthetic isotope ratios identical to advanced manufacturing waste. And stranger still, electromagnetic emissions pulsing in mathematical sequences that suggest deliberate communication attempts. What Webb has discovered orbiting our sun challenges the fundamental assumption that Earth represents the only location in our solar system where intelligence has emerged. Prepare yourselves. We begin in July 2023. The James Webb Space Telescope turned its unprecedented infrared capabilities towards Saturn as part of routine planetary observation protocols. Scientists expected to capture detailed atmospheric composition data, refine measurements of the planet's internal heat output, and perhaps discover new insights into the formation of the iconic ring system. What the telescope actually detected would force astronomers to reconsider everything they thought they knew about our solar system's history. The initial data seemed unremarkable. Standard methane signatures, expected ammonia concentrations, and typical hydrogen-helium ratios appeared in the spectroscopic readings exactly as planetary models predicted. But deeper analysis of the infrared spectrum revealed anomalous absorption lines that didn't correspond to any known atmospheric chemistry. These mysterious signatures appeared concentrated in Saturn's upper atmosphere, distributed in bands that followed the planet's jet stream patterns with mathematical precision. Dr. Sarah Chen, the lead scientist analyzing the Webb data at the Space Telescope Science Institute, initially assumed the anomalous readings represented instrumental artifacts or calibration errors. But repeated observations confirmed the signatures were real, consistent, and emanating from Saturn itself. The absorption patterns indicated the presence of complex molecules that don't form naturally in gas giant environments. These compounds required specific temperature ranges, pressure conditions, and chemical catalysts that don't exist anywhere in Saturn's atmosphere. The molecular structures detected by Webb showed characteristics identical to synthetic polymers, advanced ceramics, and metallic alloys produced through industrial processes. But these materials appeared in concentrations that suggested planet-wide distribution across Saturn's entire atmospheric volume. Natural processes could not create such compounds. Accidental contamination from Earth spacecraft could not account for the quantities detected. The signatures suggested something else entirely: large-scale industrial activity occurring within Saturn's atmosphere itself. This revelation sparked immediate classified meetings among space agency officials and academic institutions worldwide. If the signatures were real, they indicated technological civilization operating within our own solar system, not ancient ruins on Mars or mysterious signals from distant exoplanets, but active operations occurring on our neighboring world. And the implications were staggering. But the evidence was about to become even more disturbing. Traditional planetary science treats gas giants as simple fluid bodies, governed by well-understood thermodynamic processes. Saturn should be nothing more than hydrogen and helium compressed by gravity, with trace amounts of methane, ammonia, and water, creating the visible cloud bands we observe from Earth. The planet's interior should consist of increasingly compressed gases transitioning to metallic hydrogen under enormous pressure, with possibly a small rocky core at the center. But Webb's detailed spectroscopic analysis reveals atmospheric chemistry that violates these fundamental models. The telescope detected molecular species that require active energy input to maintain their existence. These unstable compounds should break down rapidly in Saturn's environment, yet they appear in steady concentrations that indicate continuous production through ongoing chemical processes. The distribution patterns of these anomalous molecules follow Saturn's atmospheric circulation with precision that suggests deliberate placement rather than random dispersion. The compounds concentrate in specific latitudes and altitudes, forming layers that correlate with particular temperature and pressure zones. This organization indicates systematic deployment rather than natural formation. Advanced spectroscopic imaging reveals that the synthetic compounds form distinct atmospheric structures invisible to conventional telescopes. These structures appear to be massive suspended platforms or installations positioned within Saturn's upper atmosphere, maintaining stable positions despite the planet's violent weather systems and supersonic winds. The platforms show geometric configurations too regular and too extensive to represent natural cloud formations. The atmospheric platforms appear constructed from materials engineered to withstand Saturn's extreme environment. The compounds detected by Webb include heat-resistant ceramics capable of surviving temperatures exceeding 150 degrees Celsius, pressure-resistant polymers that maintain structural integrity under crushing atmospheric compression, and electromagnetic shielding materials that protect against Saturn's intense radiation belts and magnetic field interactions. Thermal imaging data reveals that these atmospheric structures generate their own heat signatures, distinct from Saturn's internal thermal emissions. The heat patterns suggest active power generation systems operating within the platforms, producing energy outputs that dwarf anything achieved by human technology. The power generation appears designed to support massive industrial operations occurring within Saturn's atmosphere. But the atmospheric platforms represent only the most obvious anomaly detected by Webb. Deeper analysis reveals even more disturbing evidence of technological activity operating within the gas giant's turbulent environment. Chemical analysis of Saturn's atmosphere has always shown elevated levels of complex organic molecules. Scientists attributed these compounds to natural photochemical reactions occurring when sunlight interacts with simple atmospheric gases. But Webb's unprecedented spectroscopic resolution reveals that many of these organic molecules possess structural characteristics that don't occur through natural chemistry. The organic compounds detected in Saturn's upper atmosphere include long-chain polymers with precise molecular architectures that require sophisticated synthetic chemistry to produce. These polymers show evidence of deliberate molecular engineering designed to optimize specific material properties. The molecular structures include features like controlled branching patterns, precisely placed functional groups, and stereochemical configurations that maximize stability and performance. Natural organic chemistry produces random molecular variations through undirected chemical reactions. The compounds Webb detected show the opposite pattern: minimal variation, high precise structural control, and optimization for specific purposes that suggest intentional design rather than random formation. The molecular signatures match exactly what industrial chemists would create if they were engineering advanced materials for extreme environment applications. The distribution of these synthetic organic compounds follows patterns that indicate large-scale atmospheric processing operations. Concentrations peak in regions where Saturn's atmospheric circulation creates upwelling zones that bring material from deeper atmospheric layers toward the surface. This pattern suggests industrial facilities positioned at various atmospheric depths, and each processing materials and releasing products that circulate through Saturn's weather systems. Webb's infrared instruments detected additional evidence of chemical processing occurring within Saturn's atmosphere. Temperature anomalies appear in specific atmospheric regions, where endothermic or exothermic reactions release or absorb heat in quantities that exceed natural chemical processes. These thermal signatures indicate controlled chemical reactions occurring at industrial scales within the gas giant's atmosphere. The chemical signatures include compounds that serve no apparent natural purpose, but would be essential for advanced technological applications. Specialized lubricants designed for extreme pressure environments. Thermal management fluids engineered for specific heat capacity ranges. Electromagnetic shielding materials optimized for blocking particular radiation frequencies. The atmospheric chemistry reads like an inventory of advanced industrial materials. Isotopic analysis of these synthetic compounds reveals signatures that challenge our understanding of solar system formation. The isotope ratios don't match what should exist in materials formed from the primordial solar nebula. Instead, they show evidence of nuclear processing that alters natural isotopic compositions through controlled nuclear reactions. This isotopic modification requires technology capable of manipulating atomic nuclei with precision that exceeds current human capabilities. But the chemical evidence represents just one aspect of Saturn's atmospheric anomalies. Webb detected electromagnetic signatures that suggest something even more extraordinary, occurring within the gas giant's turbulent clouds. Saturn generates the most powerful radio emissions of any planet in our solar system except Jupiter. Scientists have always attributed these radio waves to natural processes involving the planet's rotation, magnetic field, and interactions with charged particles in the magnetosphere. But Webb's instruments detected radio emissions from Saturn that don't fit any natural generation mechanism. The anomalous radio signals appear modulated with precise frequency patterns that suggest information encoding rather than random electromagnetic noise. The modulation follows mathematical sequences including prime numbers, Fibonacci progressions, and geometric ratios that don't occur in natural radio emissions. The patterns repeat with clockwork regularity, indicating deliberate transmission rather than accidental radiation. The radio signals originate from specific locations within Saturn's atmosphere that correlate exactly with the atmospheric platform structures detected through spectroscopic analysis. This correlation suggests the platforms function as communication facilities, broadcasting signals using techniques that create radio emissions detectable across interplanetary distances. Advanced signal analysis reveals that the radio transmissions encode complex information using modulation schemes, similar to those employed by human communication systems. The signals show evidence of error correction codes, data compression algorithms, and multiplexing techniques that allow multiple information streams to share the same transmission frequencies. Natural processes could never produce such sophisticated signal structures. The radio emissions vary in intensity and frequency based on Saturn's rotational position and orbital location relative to other planets in the solar system. The variations suggest the communication system adjusts its transmission parameters to maintain optimal signal propagation under changing space weather conditions. This adaptive behavior indicates active control systems managing the radio transmission equipment. Some radio signals appear directed towards specific locations in the outer solar system, including regions where no known objects exist. The directed transmissions suggest Saturn's atmospheric facilities maintain communication with additional installations positioned throughout the solar system that remain invisible to current detection capabilities. Webb also detected electromagnetic emissions in frequency ranges that don't correspond to any known natural planetary process. These emissions include coherent microwave radiation, organized X-ray bursts, and modulated gamma-ray signals that indicate extremely high-energy processes occurring within Saturn's atmosphere. The energy levels required to generate such emissions exceed anything possible through chemical or thermal processes alone. The electromagnetic signatures show timing patterns, synchronized with Saturn's internal rotation period, rather than the planet's visible cloud rotation. This synchronization suggests the emission sources are anchored to Saturn's deep interior, rather than floating in the upper atmosphere. The installations may extend from atmospheric platforms down through thousands of kilometers of compressed gases to interface with the planet's metallic hydrogen layer. But the most disturbing electromagnetic evidence involves signals that appear designed for interstellar rather than local solar system communication. Deep space radio telescopes have occasionally detected anomalous signals from Saturn that were attributed to equipment malfunctions or terrestrial interference. But Webb's observations confirm that Saturn periodically transmits extremely powerful radio bursts directed towards specific stellar systems located hundreds of light years from Earth. The interstellar transmissions show energy concentrations that would require harnessing a significant fraction of Saturn's total energy output. The power levels indicate technologies capable of converting the planet's atmospheric circulation, internal heat, and gravitational energy into directed electromagnetic radiation with efficiency that exceeds theoretical maximums for known physics. The stellar targets of these transmissions include several systems known to host potentially habitable exoplanets. The targeting precision suggests Saturn's transmission facilities possess detailed knowledge of galactic stellar populations and planetary system architectures extending across vast distances. This knowledge could only be acquired through extensive interstellar observation or direct communication with civilizations on other worlds. The transmission patterns suggest Saturn functions as a relay station in a larger interstellar communication network. The planet appears to receive signals from distant stellar systems, process the information, and retransmit data toward other network nodes. The relay operations indicate Saturn plays a role in maintaining communication infrastructure spanning multiple star systems. Signal analysis reveals that some interstellar transmissions from Saturn include data packets encoding images, mathematical formulas, and three-dimensional structural diagrams. The encoded information appears designed for interpretation by technological civilizations with understanding of physics, chemistry, and mathematics. The content suggests active information exchange occurring between Saturn-based facilities and intelligent beings on other worlds. But the electromagnetic evidence raises a troubling question. If advanced technology operates within Saturn's atmosphere, who built it and for what purpose? The answer may lie hidden in evidence that Webb detected throughout the entire Saturnian system. Saturn's magnificent ring system has always presented puzzles for planetary scientists. The rings appear too young based on standard evolutionary models, showing brightness and organization that should have degraded over billions of years. The ring particles maintain separations and orbital configurations that seem too precise to result from random gravitational interactions. And the rings contain structures that resist all natural explanations. Webb's unprecedented infrared imaging reveals details of Saturn's rings that were invisible to previous telescopes. Within the ring system, the telescope detected thousands of geometric structures, showing configurations that could not form through natural accretion processes. These structures include perfect hexagons, precise spirals, and interconnected networks of particles, maintaining formations that violate orbital mechanics predictions. The ring structures show evidence of electromagnetic control systems that manipulate charged ring particles through precisely managed magnetic and electric fields. The control systems maintain stable configurations despite gravitational perturbations from Saturn's moons and solar radiation pressure that should disrupt such precise arrangements. The electromagnetic management indicates active systems operating within the ring environment. Some ring structures appear designed for specific technological purposes rather than serving as mere orbital debris. Webb detected ring segments showing characteristics consistent with massive solar collection arrays positioned to harvest energy from sunlight. Other structures show signatures suggesting they function as communication relay stations or navigation beacons, broadcasting signals throughout the Saturn system. The ring particles themselves show anomalous properties that challenge natural formation theories. Spectroscopic analysis reveals that many ring particles possess surface coatings made from synthetic materials rather than natural water ice. The coatings appear engineered to optimize reflectivity, minimize sublimation losses, and protect against radiation damage. Natural ring particles should not possess such sophisticated surface treatments. Deep within the main ring system, Webb detected massive structural elements that appear to serve as anchor points or organizational nodes for the ring architecture. These structures show geometric configurations suggesting artificial construction, with dimensions measured in hundreds of kilometers and masses equivalent to small moons. The anchoring structures appear designed to maintain overall ring system stability and organization. The famous Cassini division, the largest gap in Saturn's rings, shows evidence of being artificially maintained rather than naturally created. Webb detected subtle force fields operating within the division that actively clear away stray particles and maintain the gap's precise boundaries. The field strength and distribution patterns indicate deliberate engineering designed to preserve a clear zone within the ring system. But the most intriguing ring evidence involves structures that appear designed for transportation rather than static orbital configurations. Webb's time series observations of Saturn's rings revealed movement patterns that suggest active traffic flowing through the ring system. Discrete objects appear to travel along specific ring paths. maintaining precise velocities and trajectories that indicate powered flight rather than passive orbital motion. The objects show acceleration patterns consistent with advanced propulsion systems operating within the ring environment. The traveling objects range from small units measuring only meters across to massive structures spanning dozens of kilometers. The size distribution and movement patterns suggest an active transportation network, servicing installations distributed throughout the ring system. The traffic patterns show regular scheduling consistent with organized operations rather than random movements. Some traveling objects appear to originate from locations within Saturn's atmosphere, rising through the gas giant's upper layers and entering the ring system through apparent corridor regions, where the traffic density remains consistently high. These atmospheric ring connections suggest integrated operations linking the atmospheric platforms with ring-based facilities. Other objects appear to depart from the ring system entirely, accelerating to velocities that exceed Saturn's escape velocity and traveling toward other moons or into interplanetary space. The departure trajectories show precision that indicates sophisticated navigation systems and propulsion capabilities far exceeding current human spacecraft technology. Webb detected what appear to be docking facilities embedded within the ring structures, where traveling objects temporarily stop before continuing their journeys. These facilities show thermal signatures, indicating enclosed environments that might provide protection or services for the transiting vehicles. The facility distributions suggest a comprehensive transportation infrastructure, supporting extensive traffic throughout the Saturn system. But the ring transportation network connects to even more extensive facilities, hidden within Saturn's moon system. Saturn hosts 146 known moons, ranging from tiny, irregular fragments to Titan, a world larger than planet Mercury. Traditional planetary science views these moons as captured asteroids or debris left over from Saturn's formation. But Webb's observations suggest that several Saturnian moons show characteristics inconsistent with natural satellite formation. The small inner moons orbiting within Saturn's ring system show geometric shapes too regular to result from gravitational shaping alone. And several of these moons display nearly perfect spherical forms despite having masses too small to achieve hydrostatic equilibrium through self-gravity. The spherical shapes suggest artificial construction or deliberate reshaping through advanced engineering. Spectroscopic analysis of these inner moons reveals surface compositions that don't match expected materials for captured asteroids or formation debris. The surface chemistry includes synthetic compounds identical to those detected in Saturn's atmosphere and ring system. This chemical consistency suggests the moon's atmospheric platforms and ring structures comprise integrated components of a unified technological system. Thermal imaging shows that several inner moons generate heat outputs exceeding what should be possible from radioactive decay or tidal heating alone. The excess heat suggests internal power generation systems operating within these bodies. The power outputs correlate with their positions in the ring system, indicating the moons might function as energy supply stations for ring and atmospheric operations. Webb detected organized electromagnetic emissions originating from specific inner moons that show modulation patterns consistent with communication or navigation beacons. The emission frequencies and timing patterns suggest these moons function as infrastructure nodes, supporting the transportation and communication networks operating throughout the Saturn system. But the evidence extends far beyond the small inner moons to encompass Saturn's largest and most Earth-like satellite. Titan represents one of the most mysterious objects in our solar system. This massive moon possesses a thick nitrogen atmosphere, liquid methane lakes, and organic chemistry that produces compounds resembling those essential for Earth life. Scientists have always found Titan's atmosphere puzzling because models predict such an atmosphere should have been destroyed by solar radiation billions of years ago. Yet Titan maintains atmospheric density and composition that suggest active replenishment from some unknown source. Webb's spectroscopic analysis of Titan's atmosphere revealed synthetic compounds identical to those detected in Saturn's atmosphere. The molecular signatures include the same advanced polymers, engineered ceramics, and industrial processing products that indicate technological activity. The atmospheric chemistry suggests Titan hosts operations similar to those occurring within Saturn itself. The distribution of synthetic compounds in Titan's atmosphere shows concentrations in specific regions that correlate with surface features, including the Moon's methane lakes and suspected subsurface ocean. This distribution pattern indicates industrial facilities operating at Titan's surface and potentially within the subsurface ocean environment. Thermal mapping reveals anomalous heat sources on Titan's surface that generate thermal outputs inconsistent with natural geological processes. The heat sources show regular distribution patterns and consistent thermal signatures that suggest industrial facilities or power generation stations. The thermal outputs would be sufficient to support extensive technological operations within Titan's harsh environment. Webb detected electromagnetic emissions from Titan that show modulation patterns indicating active communication with Saturn's atmospheric platforms and ring-based facilities. The communication traffic suggests coordinated operations linking Titan with the broader Saturn system infrastructure. Titan may function as a major operational center managing activities throughout the Saturnian domain. Advanced radar analysis of Titan's surface reveals geometric structures beneath the Moon's dense atmospheric haze. These structures show configurations suggesting massive construction projects, including what appear to be domed habitats, transportation networks, and industrial complexes. The construction scale indicates capabilities for major engineering projects in extreme environments. The evidence suggests Titan serves as a primary operational base for whatever civilization operates within the Saturn system. The Moon's thick atmosphere provides protection from radiation and micrometeorites, while its abundant organic chemistry supplies raw materials for industrial processes. Titan represents an ideal location for supporting large-scale technological infrastructure. But even Titan's evidence pales beside what Webb detected in the most distant and mysterious regions of the Saturn system. Enceladus, Saturn's sixth largest moon, has always fascinated scientists because it actively vents water vapor and organic compounds into space through massive geysers erupting from cracks in its icy surface. These geysers indicate a subsurface ocean that might harbor conditions suitable for life. But Webb's observations reveal that Enceladus's geysers contain more than just water and simple organics. Spectroscopic analysis of Enceladus's geyser plumes detected complex synthetic molecules, identical to those found throughout the Saturn system. The molecular signatures suggest the subsurface ocean contains materials produced through industrial processes, rather than natural chemistry alone. The ocean appears to serve as a reservoir for technological operations occurring within or around Enceladus. The geyser eruption patterns show regularities that suggest controlled venting, rather than random geological processes. The eruptions occur at precise intervals and follow timing patterns that correlate with Enceladus's orbital position relative to Saturn and other major moons. The controlled timing indicates active management systems regulating the geyser activities. Webb detected thermal anomalies near Enceladus's south polar region, where the geysers originate. The thermal outputs exceed what tidal heating from Saturn's gravitational forces should produce. The excess heat suggests additional energy sources operating within Enceladus, possibly including technological power generation systems positioned within the subsurface ocean. Chemical analysis of geyser materials revealed isotopic signatures, indicating nuclear processing has occurred within Enceladus's ocean environment. The isotope ratios match those detected in Saturn's atmosphere and suggest similar nuclear technologies operate throughout the Saturn system. Enceladus's subsurface ocean may host nuclear power facilities or materials processing operations. The most intriguing evidence involves organic molecules in the geyser plumes that show structural characteristics suggesting genetic engineering or synthetic biology. These molecules include precisely designed polymers that could function as information storage systems or biological control mechanisms. The synthetic biology signatures indicate extremely advanced biotechnology operating within Enceladus's ocean. But the evidence throughout the Saturn system raises an unavoidable question. If advanced technology operates within Saturn's atmosphere, rings, and moons, where did it come from? And who operates it now? The technological signatures detected throughout the Saturn system show consistency, suggesting a unified civilization rather than multiple independent operations. The atmospheric platforms, ring structures, moon facilities, and Titan installations appear designed to work together as integrated components of a comprehensive technological infrastructure. The system-wide integration suggests long-term planning and massive resource investment extending across thousands or millions of years. Building such extensive infrastructure would require capabilities far exceeding anything human civilization has achieved. The construction project represents planetary-scale engineering applied not to a single world, but to an entire planetary system. The technology shows characteristics suggesting its builders possessed understanding of physics, chemistry, and engineering that surpasses current human knowledge by enormous margins. The atmospheric platforms operating in Saturn's extreme environment, the electromagnetic control systems managing ring configurations, and the apparent faster-than-light communication capabilities indicate scientific achievements that may require centuries or millennia for humanity to replicate. But the most disturbing aspect involves evidence suggesting this Saturn civilization might not be extinct. The ongoing radio transmissions, active traffic patterns, and maintained electromagnetic control systems indicate operations that continue in the present day. Whatever built these installations may still be operating them. The signals directed toward Earth from Saturn's atmospheric platforms show modulation patterns that appear designed for human interpretation. Recent transmissions include mathematical sequences, chemical diagrams, and star charts that specifically reference Earth's solar system geography. The targeting suggests Saturn's operators know about human civilization and may be attempting communication. Some signals contain what appear to be warnings encoded in universal mathematical language. The warnings reference specific coordinates in the outer solar system and appear to indicate danger zones or prohibited regions. The warning transmissions suggest Saturn's civilization maintains territorial boundaries or operates under protocols that restrict access to certain solar system regions. Webb detected evidence that Saturn's technological systems show increasing activity levels, coinciding with human space exploration expansion. Traffic patterns intensified after major Earth spacecraft launches. Communication signal strength increased following deployment of new Earth-based radio telescopes. The activity correlations suggest Saturn's civilization monitors human technological development and adjusts its operations in response. But the most chilling evidence involves what appears to be preparation activities occurring throughout the Saturn system. Recent Webb observations detected massive construction projects beginning in Saturn's ring system that dwarf the scale of existing structures. New platforms appear to be under assembly using materials harvested from ring particles and small moons. The construction rate suggests urgent development schedules rather than routine expansion. Electromagnetic activity throughout the Saturn system shows increasing coordination and complexity. The communication traffic between atmospheric platforms, ring facilities, and moon installations has intensified dramatically over the past year. The coordination patterns suggest mobilization for some major operation or event. Energy generation throughout the Saturn system shows steady increases in output levels. The power facilities on Titan, within Saturn's atmosphere, and embedded in various moons, now produce energy at rates 40% higher than measurements from 5 years ago. The power increase suggests preparation for operations requiring unprecedented energy resources. The traffic patterns between Saturn and the outer solar system show dramatic changes. More objects now depart Saturn, traveling toward the outer system, while fewer arrive from those distant regions. The traffic shift suggests either evacuation from outer system locations or concentration of resources in the Saturn system itself. Most disturbing are the defensive preparations. Webb detected what appear to be weapon systems being deployed throughout the ring system and on several moons. These systems show characteristics consistent with directed energy weapons, kinetic projectile launchers, and electromagnetic pulse generators. The defensive installations suggest Saturn's civilization prepares for conflict. The weapons point outward toward the outer solar system rather than toward the inner system where Earth resides. This orientation indicates the anticipated threat comes from beyond Saturn, rather than from human civilization. Whatever Saturn's operators fear apparently lurks in the distant reaches of our solar system. But evidence suggests the threat may be closer than Saturn's civilization realizes. Webb's observations of the outer solar system revealed anomalies that correlate with Saturn's apparent defensive preparations. Unexplained thermal signatures appear in the Kuiper belt, showing movement patterns inconsistent with natural icy bodies. These signatures suggest active technological systems operating in regions we assumed were lifeless. Radio emissions detected from beyond Neptune show modulation patterns different from Saturn's transmissions, but equally indicative of intelligent origin. The outer system signals appear to represent a different civilization, using distinct communication protocols. The signal distributions suggest extensive operations throughout the outer solar system. The outer system civilization's signals show increasing intensity and complexity over the same period when Saturn's defensive preparations accelerated. The correlation suggests these two civilizations are aware of each other and possibly preparing for confrontation. Humanity may be observing the opening movements of an interplanetary conflict. Some outer system signals appear directed toward the inner solar system and specifically toward Earth. The transmissions use modulation schemes different from Saturn's, but equally designed for interpretation by technological civilizations. We may be receiving communication attempts from a second non-human intelligence operating in our solar system. The content of outer system transmissions appears to reference Saturn directly. Signal analysis reveals mathematical sequences describing Saturn's orbital parameters, physical characteristics, and moon system architecture. The outer civilization clearly possesses detailed knowledge of the Saturn system and may be transmitting information about it to Earth. But the most disturbing evidence involves signals that suggest this outer system civilization may be far older and more powerful than Saturn's operators. Isotopic analysis of materials detected in the outer solar system reveals signatures indicating extreme age. Some objects show isotope ratios suggesting they were manufactured billions of years ago, using nuclear technologies. These ancient artifacts predate Saturn's installations by enormous time spans. The outer system civilization's technology shows characteristics suggesting capabilities that exceed Saturn's already advanced systems. The energy signatures, communication ranges, and propulsion capabilities detected in outer system objects indicate scientific understanding that may represent a fundamentally higher level of technological development. Archaeological evidence from Earth's geological record contains references to visitors from the outer solar system arriving during previous epochs. Ancient atmospheric samples preserve chemical signatures, matching compounds detected in current outer system emissions.